Good evening, Overwatch fans, and welcome back to Star Esports All-Star Brawl, where we are heading into the losers bracket once again to see Death Computer versus the prior champions of the most recent All-Star Brawl, BearClaw Gaming. My name is Captain Jack, and I am joined by Joe Razor, last minute fill and first time colorcaster here on the All-Star Brawl, along with Refused on production. Joe, thank you so much for filling in last minute. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. These are two great teams. Been keeping up with the All-Star Brawl, and I'm very excited to see them go at it.
Yeah, these teams have been interesting to see kind of around the scene. Death Computer, much more well known during their time over in the Invitational. They were previously known as Lo-Fi Aim, were the champions of IV2. Didn't do so hot in IV3. I think made it at least to the top 4 before being eliminated. And BearClaw Gaming, previously known as Andy's Daycare, as I mentioned earlier, were the previous champions of the All-Star Brawl. You know, definitely recognizing quite a few reputable names. Another interesting name that just got added to the list for tonight due to needing some fills due to the holiday week. Neptune, also a previous member of the Drifters, will be joining BearClaw Gaming tonight with their teammate Ship, who played Diva this weekend for BearClaw Gaming and really popped off. And at the end of tonight, Joe, one of these teams is going to be going home.
Yeah, losers bracket. So, like you said, loser goes home here tonight, but the other one will advance to the losers finals. Like you said, BearClaw won the most recent All-Star Brawl, and they've been pretty good here. The only reason they got dropped to the losers bracket was because of forfeit, right? So, they've definitely been one of the more impressive teams so far throughout this All-Star Brawl. But on the other side, you have Death Computer, who they got knocked to the losers bracket around prior to BearClaw.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, they've managed to battle their way through it. A 3-0, a 3-1, and then another 3-0 recently against Best Buds. And now they are face-to-face here against BearClaw.
That's absolutely true. We want to remind you folks that all night long you can be voting for your MVP by going right below the stream. There's a little MVP box there. Just vote for your favorite player or the player that you want to see interviewed at the end of this match. And the player with the most votes wins, and we'll be bringing them on to talk about their match. Doesn't have to be from the winning team either, so you can get those votes in as quickly as you'd like. And surprise, surprise, another member of Drifters. BearClaw Gaming is essentially half Drifters now, or at least previous Drifters, as Yamitra is joining on. Amazing support player for Drifters. Needless to say, we're seeing almost half of a tier 2 team against kind of like a tier 3 kind of going on tier 2.5 team, and I'm a little bit nervous, Joe, as to how this is going to end up turning out by the end of the evening.
Yeah, like you said, BearClaw have they have a lot of like tier 2 players here, a couple of tier 3, but a good portion of this team is tier 2. Some of them have even played in contenders previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good roster, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Death Computer, I do see some upset potential. Like you said, they have had a couple like substitutes today for BearClaw, so it's not their full starting roster. So Death Computer definitely might have some punching power. Might be able to get a sneaky upset here.
Mm-hmm. Well, with the level of players that they're facing against, even if they're going 1v1, they might have the edge. We were kind of questioning that in the most recent matchup that BearClaw Gaming had when Ship was the only fill that they needed. And surprise, surprise, Contenders players play at Contenders levels. Regardless of where they're at, Ship ended up, although getting kind of caught with their pants down a couple times, in some 2v1 situations, still ended up pulling out some amazing moves during their most recent match, ending it 3-1. So I'm gonna be excited to see how this ends up working out for Death Computer, if it works out at all for Death Computer, because if you've spent all your time preparing for the traditional BearClaw gaming and then get surprised by all these additions to the roster at the last moment, especially when they're kind of a cut above, so to speak, it kind of puts you a little bit of a disadvantage. So hopefully they have come to bring it and make it as difficult of a code to crack as it can be. Hopefully Death Computer's got that decoder online to be able to figure out BearClaw's plans for this evening. Our first map of the evening is going to be taking us to Rialto, though, which we've been seeing a lot of lately. Typical in the All-Star Brawl, teams are allowed to pick any map type as their first map, and we've been seeing a lot of not only just Escort first, but Rialto first. How do you think that kind of changes things up based on what we typically see in competitive Overwatch? Starting with the kind of warm up on Control and then moving on to like Escort, Hybrid, and Assault, and so on.
Yeah. You say warm up on Control, but I think one of the downsides of starting on Control maps is it could be really easy to snowball a Control map, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of points on Control maps where if you win the first fight, you could just win the entire point there. And it can be hard to fight back into Control maps at times. However, with a map like Escort, you can have a map type like Escort, you can have a bad attack, right? You might
Mm-hmm.
get in halfway through second point. You can still win that map. That map is not unwinnable. If you got a bad defense, you still have a chance to rebound with a good defense or a good attack, excuse me. So I definitely think that it's possible. I think Escort allows for a bit more of comeback mechanics than a map like Control does. I say it might sound kind of weird because the fact that if you lose a Control map and then it starts as a blank sheet 0-0, but in percentage on the next point, but I feel like Escort allows for teams to fight back into maps a bit more.
No, I can definitely understand that. As we're waiting for the teams to get ready to go, that we're just finalizing getting the members in here. We want to remind you that if you love what you see here at Star Esports, be sure to hit that punch that bell so you get notified every time that we are online. Remember, we are kind of winding down the rest of the season. I'm not even for certain if this is the last couple of matches for 2021. So you definitely want to be making sure that you are paying attention and you get those notifications so that you know every time that Star Esports is online. You can also hit that subscribe button, $4.99 or Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime sub will support this amazing community and all that they
20%
do.
off, by the way, subscriptions.
Oh, really? It's 20% off right now?
Yeah.
We going back to September again?
I don't know, man. They just I don't know. Twitch is a big fan of making subs 20% in the middle of the year.
It might be. I keep forgetting that it is a holiday weekend. So you know, if you are into Black Friday shopping and all that jazz, you don't have to bowl your way through anyone. To be able to get the savings, apparently. So take that good 20% off. You know, get yourself a 6-month subscription, save the money in the long term, and be able to enjoy lots of content here at Star Esports. What do we see coming out for our defenders here, though, Joe?
Yeah, Death Computer on the defense. They're running a double shield comp here. Not too uncommon for Rialto, but the DPS line is a bit strange. The Cassidy is not a too strange of a pick. It's pretty standard. Sometimes you'll see with an Asher or Hanzo instead, but then the Tracer is definitely a bit it feels like more of a comfort pick than a kind of pick that works with the comp. But Bro comp here on the attack, they're gonna wrap through the stairs.
Yeah, can't say that I'm surprised seeing Infected going on the Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Definitely one of their most aggressive characters and most successful characters to utilize, but still coming in on that double shield. Neptune on the Lucio, going to provide that speed boost, and the boop ends up sending Rose onto the ground and is going to have to rotate around. Shatter ends up picking out Neptune, but Yamitra keeps him alive for now. Will get traded out on by Reverse, Moving Fish falling as well, but it looks like as the picks continue to come in, we will see Death Computer kind of holding the line as they continue to stagger out the members of BearClaw Gaming.
Yeah, a bit surprising. A really quick shatter build there from Infected, manages to connect with a couple of members, and that's kind of some of the downside of this Hanzo variation. You don't have as much consistent damage here, and when a big shatter's hit, it's you're not as easy to follow up. Pulse Bomb, though, comes into the back. Connects onto, not sure what it connected onto. I believe it was a tank.
Yeah, it looks like they were looking for Neptune, based at least on the health bars there, but didn't end up getting the hit they were looking for. And Matrix out from Hanbei, just kind of used as a zoning tactic, really. Didn't really get a whole lot of value. That we will go ahead and see that trade coming in, though. A window of their own. Infected deleted by Moving Fish, able to get the follow-up onto Ship as well. Blizzard invested by Zera, looking to see if they can get that zoning. This is going to allow Yamitra and Neptune to go ahead and start pushing that payload. Beat investment, very interesting there. Probably not needed, but Reverse does pull out the Uno Reverse with that rally and is going to go ahead and push BearClaw back to the bridge. Hopefully not to get themselves zoned out there. Zero with the follow-up pick. Gravitic Flux doesn't find the targets it's looking for, but with the immortality down, there is an opening for them to make work. Moving Fish got to get healed up and back in the action with Bulby out of the fight, but it looks like
weird old commitments there, so you're gonna see Rose and Moving Fish get caught up here in this high ground, and you see kind of an attempt at a recontest currently from Death Computer, but it's not going to be very successful. They will manage to capture up first point here and clean out these remaining members, but a lot of ults now being built up for BearClaw Gaming. We're gonna have to shatter, Dragon Strike as well, and then Blizzard actually got built up fairly quickly. Window as well.
That's true. It was a little surprising, kind of the over-investment, if you will, of certain ultimates like Neptune's beat. I mean, we could be seeing a little bit of cockiness. We did kind of talk about the skill difference here from between both teams. So maybe it's maybe we might be able to get away with some cheeky stuff. We do see some picks coming in though for Death Computer, really trying to punish the moves being made. Ant Matrix utilized. Self-destruct comes in, takes down all the shields, but once again, the Blizzard out from Zera. Not going to grab anyone, but will get the follow-up onto Bulby as they try to run their way through the team with the stagger coming in on Death Computer as they separate out Reverse and Rose from the rest of the team. That's going to be Objective Bravo here very shortly as we see this Wrecking Ball Diva composition continue to kind of dagger on the point, but not finding the eliminations that they need.
Yeah, that was a very strange fight there from Death Computer. They lost the fight, but you saw, like you mentioned, Rose and Reverse managed to just stay alive behind for so long, and BearClaw just completely ignored them there. And then once the rest of Death Computer showed up, it looked like it might have been winnable for a moment, but like you said, BearClaw able to close it out. And started to build up into some more ultimates now as BearClaw back onto the Gravitic Fluxes chip, and so is that window they were able to hold on to. But Transcendence to counter it.
We'll see how that'll be utilized here. Slam, Minefield, trying to zone out the payload. Dragon Strike also invested right on top of the minefield where nobody was standing. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there. We will see the Transcendence utilized to chase down the remaining members of BearClaw Gaming, but with 3 minutes remaining on the clock, they're going to have to put out a lot more traps for those bears if they want to hold this point.
Yeah, just not able to close it out there. They had some ults to commit, and they only end up using the window there, mainly because of some early picks that came through for Death Computer, but really early into this fight now.
All right, Gravitic Flux coming out from Ship, gets deleted by Salty there, though. We will see the Valkyrie now invested as the Shatter comes out from Infected, gets nothing as Moving Fish also on that beep beep delete train of BearClaw Gaming. We're seeing kind of an over-investment right now instead of kind of holding the line. Ship will go ahead and swap on over to that Diva, though, to give us the rush composition they need.
Yeah, so really nice fight there once again. Committing the Shatter and the Flux, though, is BearClaw. You're going to see Ship now move over onto a more traditional pick of the Diva. But still, the defense has some ults to work with. Really close to another Transcendence. Both tank ults online as well. Dragon Strike close, but it could be eaten up by this defense matrix.
Self-destruct sent into the side room. Literally almost takes out the entire team with a well-timed immortality field, though. Yamitra keeps them all alive, and rotation misses the dragons, as well. Colby has that minefield online. There it is, littering the objective, but the Blizzard overlaps, taking down all the mines and keeping everyone safe. Transcendence now invested to keep everybody alive throughout the Blizzard, and they will clean up the objective once again. Death Computers really hacking their way into locking down this point with only a minute left for BearClaw to get their hands in.
Yeah, third point is a notoriously tough point to push into, but some comp swaps now for BearClaw. They're going to switch over to a version of 6-man. Tracer pick is a bit uncommon, but the rest of the comp is very traditional 6-man comp.
Yeah, this is actually something standard we've been seeing from BearClaw as of late. Their dive isn't really damage forward on the DPS. It's more crowd control and picking the squishies. Zeus on that Sombra is going to be incredibly useful, and look at that. Salty with the duplicate, sending the entire BearClaw team into the underground with the Primal Rage. Is just going to go ahead and dominate the space. They're not going to have anything that they can make happen with only 10 seconds on the clock, Joe. I don't think this payload's getting any further.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to touch here. Big plays from Salty all over this third point there. Canceling a Gravitic Flux earlier. Now a big duplicate, and they can't even get a touch. Neptune was the closest, and still he was about 10 meters away. It was looking good for BearClaw. Rialto is a very hard map to attack on. Managed to nearly get all the way through the map, but Death Computer managed to come up big towards the end.
That is true, but we will see. It draws a line in the sand, but that doesn't mean the Death Computer will be able to meet that line. It'll be up to BearClaw Gaming to show that despite having a change in team members due to the holiday, that they are still the team that everyone is rooting for. We do want to remind you, get those MVP votes in. I know that it's early, but these teams have shown, if you followed them long enough, who their incredibly skilled players are and what kind of moves they will be making tonight. So either that or just hold on to it. You know, we've seen the vote change in a matter of moments as the matches go on. Because at the end of the day, I can't say I could call which way that it would go. Ideally, player-wise, I would want to send it to BearClaw for the Drifter's assist, but you know, Death Computer kind of holding their own right now.
Yeah, definitely are, but this is still a very winnable map for BearClaw. On Rialto, a push like that is fairly respectable, so definitely would not count them out of this, but interesting comp here from the attack. You're going to see a double shield with a Widow, and Rose is immediately going to make his presence known. Going to go back and swap just to start to get an opening pick, and it works fairly well. Goes over onto the Ashe now, so fairly similar comps, only Computer, but look how much space that one pick from Rose got him.
Yeah, I mean, when you're taking out a player that quickly, especially when it's one of your supports, it makes it difficult to kind of hold the line. They've literally taken over the entire courtyard now as we move into the first attack here. Bulby Ore losing shield, just trying to stay alive. Immortality field invested to try to keep the team in a line. Big Holt coming in, but not really a lot of follow-up, you know, no sticky mines or anything to really get that full value. Dynamite does go in, though, from Rose, finds a little bit of value there as the Amp Matrix looking to delete everything in their way. It's a Z's all over the board with Zeus and Zira getting picks. Chip and Neptune want to get in on the action as well, and that's going to be a cleanup of Death Computer just shy of Objective Alpha.
Yeah, nicely done there for BearClaw. After being forced back quite a bit, they managed to counter with a big window there that sets up some good kills. Zeus has been on point here so far on this defense, and nearly picks out the Echo, but stays alive. Good, pretty cool openings for both ends. Only ult that won't be built, at least mid-fight, is that window. And on the other side, you have a fairly similar thing, but the ult that probably won't be built up is the Diva Bomb.
That is true. We do see the Amp Matrix invested. Zira does find Rose in the backline with the Pulse Bomb, though. Gonna create some space to try to hold the line. We do see the Supercharger invested. Bulby running for the hills right now as the bomb gets sent in from Zeus. And that is going to be a cleanup once again from BearClaw Gaming. Not going to be allowing Death Computer any room to work, but with that kind of over-investment of ults, 3 ultimates in one fight, that might end up biting them in the keister with all the ultimates coming. Well, as I say that, reverse swaps off of the Mercy, which is going to lose that Valkyrie going into this fight.
Yeah, Valkyrie's not the most impactful ultimate, however, so yeah. While you definitely would like to have it, I think the comp is more important, but a very aggressive rally. Countered by this Bongo.
Yep, the rally comes out to try to prevent the Bob and Supercharger from getting the damage that it's looking for. Now we see the duplicate coming out for Salty onto that Orisa. Not able to get a second Bongo out on the field to provide that additional damage and space that they need to work. Rose is going to be swapping over to the Tracer, be able to get back into the fight a little bit sooner, but Zira's on the hunt, looking for the place to put that Pulse Bomb. Self-destruct, goes in the back line, only finds Zeus, though. The Pulse gets absorbed by the Immortality Field, but Zira comes in swinging, able to find reverse in the end. Not going to be allowing any of the supports to stay alive, but Salty trading it up in their backline as well. The remake not allowed by Death Computer, and they have indeed found the password to unlock Objective Alpha as they start moving their way through the streets.
Yeah, big play there from Salty. Comes up with a 3K there. Two of them with that focusing beam, and already 73% to another duplicate for him. Nicely done. Speaking of 70%, you're going to see Reverse, who is also 70% to their ultimate with that rally. On the other side, though, closest ultimate you're looking at is the Bongo on Infected, who is currently 80 to that.
Yeah, that supercharger so far has been showing to be kind of the fight turner right now. With all the damage coming in, there's only so much that Moving Fish and Ship can eat on either side. So whoever gets it up first is going to make it work for him. Salty opting for the Diva duplicate as the Bob is invested from Zeus. Self-destruct coming out, looking to create that space, ends up grabbing Ship as they fall up the high ground, but the Pulse Bomb gets traded. Reverse goes down, but the Immortality and Supercharger go down for the side of BearClaw. Without that additional damage, they might find themselves in a precarious position to be able to hold the line, but nevertheless, the support of Neptune and Yamitra are there. Despite Neptune falling in that fight, that was what kept them alive and able to defend for another push.
Yeah, nicely done there for them. Like you said, holding on. BearClaws look sublime here so far in the defense, only losing really one fight, and a late kill from there on Ship. First Ship onto Salty will delay this attack for a bit longer. Double tank ults though for the attack. It's all they're really looking to work with, as the rest are, as they have done a couple of swap offs, as Salty now heads over onto the Hanzo. On the other side though, you're going to have the Diva Bomb and the Rally. Building up Pulse Bomb pretty shortly should be Zira.
That is true, and Zira has been locked on to Reverse's Keister every single time, throwing it onto that Brig. Self-destruct's traded, going in both backlines, but Ships is bigger. Grabs the double kill onto Henbei and Salty. That's going to end the push right before it even gets started. 30 seconds remain on the clock as Death Computer have one last chance to push into Objective Bravo.
Yeah, great stuff there. Diva Bomb from Ship manages to kill 2 and sets up a big opportunity now for BearClaw to take this opening map. They're not going to have a ton of stuff to work with here, only that Bonko and the Pulse Bomb. High Noon is online shortly as well. On the other side, though, they have almost absolutely nothing, only this window.
Interesting swap last minute from Moving Fish over to the Sigma, hoping that that additional shield might be able to help them out. Bongo's Deadeye Kitchen Sink being released from the side of BearClaw Gaming. They want to get picks by any means necessary, but it's a 5v5 on the objective right now. We will see the Supercharger fade away. Neptune and Zeus going down the rally of Reverse. The Uno Reverse coming out on the objective right now. Death Computer are not done yet. They have unlocked the second level, getting ready to head to the final boss battle here on Rialto as they start making their way into Objective Charlie and that golden box of victory.
Great stuff there. They were looking at that fight for quite a bit, though, losing 2 players early on, but rebound with some great stall and then ultimate usage to close that out. I was convinced we'd be seeing the end of the map right there. Ship has now switched over to the Sigmas. They're going to take a fairly aggressive fight.
Oh, we do see the Dragons come out, separating out the team, but there's not a lot of speed for them to kind of utilize that in their favor. Immortality used early, and that's going to allow that Gravitic Flux to get full value from Moving Fish, and Charlie Niner coming out from BearClaw Gaming couldn't get to the objective fast enough after that Gravitic Flux, and that is going to be Death Computer locking in their first victory here on Rialto.
Yeah, you hate to see it there. A bit of a C9 for Death Computer. And the thing is, BearClaw only really lost 2 fights. An entire defense. And they had to win like 4 fights to get the cart where they ended up getting it. But I think that that has to do with where Death Computer were taking these fights on the defense. They had a bit of a closer hold there on the first point, and the fact that Rose got that initial pick on their attack made it so BearClaw were not able to get a really re-engage after they lost the fight on first point. And then second point, kind of the same thing there, where the cart just moved pretty far up before a fight was taken. And that's how you ended up seeing this kind of really low amounts of fights in that final attack, but it was enough for Death Computer.
That is true. And, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes you can get the staggered fights, you kind of chip away when it goes to distance or percentage, get a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. But Death Computer was like, nah, we chunking this out. We're going to take down BearClaw as quickly as we can, make up a lot of space. And, some of that might have been on BearClaw as well, just not taking more space, taking advantage of the space that initially was available to them, and just giving Death Computer so much room to work. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how things change as we head into our next map. King's Row, no control for our second map this time around. We're going to be heading straight into hybrid. We did see a ban on Lijiang Tower, though, from the side of Death Computer, so we won't be seeing any Lijiang tonight if we do end up going to control. But King's Row definitely is home ground for players like Infected that play that aggressive Rhine. Same thing with Ship on how they play that Diva. So it's going to be it's going to be entertaining to watch and see how Death Computer kind of adjusts to that, seeing as most of what we've seen from them is either kind of this double shield composition that's kind of poking sort of at a distance, or the Wrecking Ball dive that's kind of very, very in your face and kind of drive-by-ish, vice kind of grouped up and collapsing on the enemy.
Yeah, definitely. I love to watch King's Row in between two teams that are willing to play brawl, especially with Reinhardt's like as aggressive as Infected. It could be quite fun to see them play. So definitely interested to see if we will see any deviations off of the Brawl Cup. I expect not for BearClaw, because Ship and Infected are really comfortable in your very traditional brawl tanks, but I wonder if Death Computer might try to run something else here. I just don't know how they feel about taking a brawl mirror against BearClaw at the current moment, but taking the brawl mirror wouldn't be a horrible idea, I think.
That's true. Well, even on this map, depending on who you're watching play, could spell victory with that Wrecking Ball Diva composition that we saw earlier from them. The only issue when running it on King's Row is that, especially as the Wrecking Ball player, you have to be incredibly precise in how you move throughout the streets of King's Row. You can get caught up on just about any corner imaginable, and it makes it very difficult if you do get stuck, or makes it very easy, I should say, if you do get stuck, for the enemy team to just kind of jump on you and take advantage of that, and then that's a staggered fight. So if Death Computer want to get creative, that's definitely a way to make it happen. We do want to remind you, with all the amazing play that you've seen tonight, be sure to be voting in that MVP vote below the stream today. Your MVP, whether on the winner or a loser side, will be brought in for an interview at the end of today's broadcast. So let's go ahead and get into the action as we head into King's Row. We will see a Death Computer taking the attack to start things off this time around, which means we should be seeing that brawl coming out from BearClaw Gaming here shortly.
Yeah, so will be a brawl. Interesting though, they're gonna go this kind of like a poke brawl comp. They you'll have a core play the brawl, and then most likely the Sigma and the Hanzo will play a bit separate. Sometimes the Baptiste as well, but normally you have the Bat play with the brawl core. But there is a chance you see the Bat play up with this Sigma and the Hanzo, and I'm a fan of this comp normally. It can be hard to deal with if you're not expecting it, so The attack, though, looks like they're also planning to run a brawl. Rose is going to look for an opening pick like they did on Rialto, and Salty, wonder if he's going to stay on the Doomfist. Looks like he will. It's going to be a Doom Reaper, so actually pretty interesting comp.
Yeah, looking for a single pick potential with that Doomfist and with the Reaper as well. Just looking to try to clean up as much as possible, but Salty not going to get the value out of that first punch he was hoping for. Just gets a big old accretion to the face. We're seeing the long rotation, though, from Death Computer, but no! Handbay gets separated out from the rest of the team. Neptune booping him off of the high ground, and that is going to be a cleanup from the side of BearClaw Gaming. Just anticipatory of that rotation. Will make Death Computer pay for it with a good 45 seconds off that clock.
Yeah, so BearClaw getting the first win there as on the defense, but you're going to see a quick recontest attempt here from the attack as they want to try to capitalize on these respawns, but it looks like they won't be able to do much as the respawns have fully come through.
Ooh, Shatter Ore coming out, lays Salty on the ground to get tackled by Infected. Yumitra also getting the pick onto Bulby as the Immortality Fields go down. But with both Reinhardts out of the fight, that might be enough to be able to turn the tide in favor of Death Computer. And of course, I speak a little too late at this point as we see the unfortunate stagger coming out here onto Moving Fish, able to get the remake, but no damage as Ship takes him out of the fight.
Yeah, the Shatter is pretty good there from Infected. Knocks Salty out to the ground, who's a lot of the damage from BearClaw. And they managed to remove him. Media trade came through, though, so great job by the rest of the team to recover. And they're going to try to wrap through this hotel once again, Death Computer will.
I'm actually questioning whether they are or not. They were kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do. Reverse, though, able to take down Neptune, has been getting kind of cheeky and trying to get in their backline and create that extra space. Meteor Strike comes in, gets the Immortality Field, but the cleanup is fierce from the side of Death Computer. The only one left near the objective right now is Ship, but just gets bullied into the back line by Salty. That's going to be objective Alpha captured with 1:30 on the clock. Add 2:30 to it. That's going to put 4 minutes back for the Streets phase.
Yeah, so first point has been captured, like you said. Not the swiftest capture, but came through in the end. And the offense managed to hold on to some ultimates. Mainly those two support ults, then the Shatter. But on the other side, you're going to have a big ult economy. Both tank ults, the Blizzard and the Sound Barrier.
That's true. We do see the Amp Matrix utilized, trying to trade with the Gravitic Flux. Doesn't get the value it's looking for, though, as we see Hanbei getting that healing in place. The beat now invested from Reverse. Shatter comes in, gets nothing but shield. And it just seems like no matter what comes out for the side of Death Computer, they're having a hard time making a pick happen. They are able to get that initial one onto Zeus, and there it is. The cleanup rolling in. Infected, Neptune all falling to the fist, just moving anyone and everyone out of the way. Zira gonna get staggered out right here as Salty sends them straight into the payload with a good splat.
Yeah, nicely done there from Death Computer. It looked like Infected was set up for a big play there and just wasn't able to close it because of the counter pin that came in from Bulby. So good work there. A lot of ults used for both ends. Only one for either team coming to this fight is gonna, or I guess there's two. You're gonna have the window from Ymira and Salty's Meteor Strike.
All right, well, let's see if they can make it happen. Ant Matrix invested from both sides as they try to keep the team alive. Self-destruct coming in for Moving Fish, trying to get the remake quickly, but it's going to pay for it with their life. And the rest of the team just going to get bowled over by BearClaw Gaming, pulling out the claws just shy of Objective Bravo.
Yeah, they got shut down there. And they have built up some ults through that fight. Blizzard and the Shatter. The other end is also going to have a Shatter, Sound Barrier, and Hanzo ult online. Look to see Bulby try to hit an early Shatter, try to surprise Infected. If he's able to do so, you're going to see Death Computer win a quick fight.
All right, well, let's see how this continues to work out. Maywell's coming up on either side. Dragon Strike doesn't find the value it's looking for, but the Blizzard out from Zira is looking to gain some ground. Bulby will fall, though, and the rest of the team soon to follow. This 4v6 stagger going on right now. Hanbei having no choice on how to get around. Rose is going to continue to try to push the card in, maybe a little bit further instead of regrouping with the team. Going to give up that ult charge. But now it's only a minute on the clock, and they're not even going to be able to begin pushing in due to the stagger.
Yeah, BearClaw just kind of shutting out Death Computer here. And look at their ults. They're going to have 4 ults coming into this fight. Shatter and Blizzard were the 2 they used in the previous one, and those are the ones they're not going to have. Only the Shatter and the Window, though, from the attack. So, very, not looking too great if you're Death Computer.
Long rotation coming in from Death Computer once again. Amp Matrices overlapping, quite literally, as Zeus and Ship send out their ultimates. Self-destruct finds 2. And that's going to be it. I think that this is going to be a point Bravo hold. But with 15 seconds on the clock, we might be able to see someone turn this around.
Yeah, there is a chance, but it's not looking too likely. They're going to be able to get a tag with the Lucio and the Wrecking Ball, so players are available! Big Shatter!
That is indeed fat right there. Slam coming in from Moving Fish as Bulby goes down. Reverse trying to wall ride on either side just to be able to keep the objective in play. The Blizzard covers the point. Stun comes in. Salty's Blizzard ends up getting eaten. So not able to use that to create the space that they needed to make happen. BearClaw Gaming gonna lock out Death Computers. No hacks today at Objective Bravo as they head to the attack.
Yeah. Great job there from BearClaw Gaming. Completely shutting down this Death Computer attack. Good first point defense by them, and they followed it up with an even better second point defense. Just really great stuff from them. And they're definitely fair to be able to take this map. Like, this is kind of what I was worried about with Death Computer taking the Brawl Mirror. Is I favor BearClaw so much in that, to the point where I won't say it's unwinnable, but it feels very unlikely that they would be able to win this straight on mirror, and I think that last round proved it. But quick side note, Death Computer are running this Doom Reaper comp again, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't think it worked very well in their initial attack. It took them quite a while to win a fight with it. I would definitely prefer them just to run a traditional Brawl here.
I mean, what we would like them to do and what they are going to do are definitely going to be 2 different things, but I agree with you there. There was just too much stun potential from the side of BearClaw, but though we might be seeing some things swapped up here.
I imagine they're just for a pick and they're going to swap. And like the Mercies to res if somebody gets counter-picked, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We will see them swap over to the traditional rush with the Cassidy May crowd control for days. And that's really what's hurting Rose and Salty right now. You know, they get stunned as soon as they get into the fight, and then they're just sitting ducks for Ship right there just to delete them out of the match. Zeus does get picked off early, though, but it doesn't seem to be turning the tide in any way, shape, or form for the side of BearClaw Gaming. They're going to take Objective Alpha in a quick fervor as they go ahead and unlock that objective, get that payload moving with over 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, great stuff there from BearClaw. Just rolling over this first point defense there. Only took them a minute, and that include capture time. They're going to try to hold close here at this archway. Death Computer is, and woo! Infected
going deep. Feels protected, but the payload's not being pushed by anyone right now. That may hurt them in the end if they're not careful. Looks like they finally pulled back to get that payload moving once again, but the choke being held. Rose gets caught out of position by Ymitra, and now they're going to have to abandon the choke to keep that payload moving. Ymitra just keeps getting too antsy, wants to be up in the action, and the payload keeps being abandoned, but it looks like they're moving their way well through the streets of King's Row without a care in the world, to be honest.
Yeah, they are marching through here, and they have a lot of ults to work with. Almost everything other than the Shatter. And yeah, this is not looking too great. They're going to go for a similar rotation to what we saw Death Computer go for earlier.
Yeah, but the question is, can they make it work? Amplification Matrix comes out. Fire Strike finds some damage, as Moving Fish does end up getting demeched in the end. Rose, falling incredibly low, is able to get back in time for the beat, though. Zeus finds the double kill with the Deadeye, though. Beat invested on their end as well, and it is pretty much a team kill here for the side of BearClaw Gaming. Is a team kill. Will ring out loud and proud. There's no way anyone is going to make it here in time to contest. BearClaw bringing it up 2-0 right now as they celebrate with a Winter Wonderland on King's Row.
Great stuff there from BearClaw Gaming. Absolute dominance there on King's Row. I get the attack from Death Computer. It was okay, right? They got it through part of second, but that attack never really looked like there was a good chance there for Death Computer to win it. And in the end, BearClaw managed to tie up the set.
Well, I think it's exactly like you said, right? Like, they weren't going to win in the Brawl Mirror, or they felt that they weren't able to win in the Brawl Mirror. But the issue is that you can't just change up two of the heroes and hope that that will work out. Like, single pick potential, if you're playing in like tier 3, may be something that you can get away with. But when you have 3, 4 recent, if not more, I'm not 100% certain about Zeus or Zera, but when you have at least 4 contenders players on one team, they're not going to fall for those simple mistakes. They're not going to fall for those easy single picks that you're going to be able to get off. They're going to be prepared, and they're going to know how to counter it well, even with the composition that they're going to be running. So we are going to see BearClaw get the chance to ban an additional map. We could be heading into final match here, or final map, based on how things are going right now. If BearClaw continue this hot streak and Death Computer will end their run here, it looks like the banned map will not be Junkertown, because they're not paying attention to the map pool. So we'll wait on that, but we do want to remind you once again, be sure to be getting in your MVP votes below the stream. I'm going to be checking in right now to kind of see where we are at with that, and kind of see where the votes have been falling. Looks like right now Moving Fish has the most votes with 23%, but Ship is also at 23%.
Yeah,
so
both off takes have been great.
Both off tanks have been putting in a lot of work. So if you are preferable to one off tank or the other, be sure to be getting in your votes now. If this should be the last map, you won't have much of a chance to get your votes in after that. So
I did some digging on Zera, and Zera was in Contenders Trials. So
not
sure where Zeus managed to reach, but Zera managed to get all the way up to Trials.
Okay, nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, you definitely got to kind of climb your way up there. We saw that.
That's still higher than I'm ever going to get to.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, shoot, tier 3 is higher than I'll ever be. So
I'll be lucky if I could get it to tier 4.
Exactly.
I'll get tier 4 on a good day.
I'll play in a console gold platinum division. Thank you.
I might get tier 4 on Valorant. Don't know about Overwatch.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I don't have to think when I play Valorant.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Overwatch requires brain.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
I could my brain works when I talk about the game, not when I play it though.
That's absolutely true. Well, it looks like the band map is Temple of Anubis. I can't say that I'm surprised there, although we may not see it tonight with the way that the rules are here in Star Esports, because we are heading back to Escort once again. We're actually heading to Watchpoint Gibraltar, and I find it interesting. Well, maybe I don't find it interesting that Death Computer picked this because they picked King's Row in hopes to be able to defeat the Brawl Mirror or defeat it in a way that works out for them. But that didn't work, so now they're going the opposite. We're going to go for the dive heavy map in hopes that our opposing compositions, whether they be traditional dive, double bubble, the Wrecking Ball Diva we saw on Rialto, is enough for them to hold the line instead.
Yeah.
And I just realized it's tied up. This is not going to be our last map. Wow, my brain is not here tonight. It is tied up. I forgot BearClaw Gaming chose King's Row. So I'm sure, yeah, everybody's probably shouting in the chat. I see the ones there. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a long day. You know, it's Monday. I got a case of the Mondays, but it is 1-1, so we will at least get 4 maps.
But today's not even Monday.
It isn't Monday? Well,
Today's
it's
Tuesday.
my Monday. It's my Monday then.
Do
Monday from yesterday.
The way I know today's Tuesday is because tomorrow I gotta watch the Survivor. Survivor's on tomorrow, so I gotta.
Survivor Wednesdays.
Yes.
I see. See, for me, I'm just
got a case of the Mondays on the Tuesday.
Yeah, I got a case of the Mondays, and they leaked into Tuesday. That's pretty much what happened. So. Nevertheless, we will get to at least see some more awesome Overwatch action, and with this being selected by Death Computer, you gotta hope that they have a plan for this.
Yeah, you gotta. Hopefully they do. I wonder what types of comps we're gonna see here. We're gonna see some form of dive-oriented comp, but I wonder if we're gonna see a Wrecking Ball, like it looks like the defensive side of Death Computer is gonna run, or if we're gonna see more of a traditional dive with this Winston. But here we're gonna see a very interesting comp. It's gonna be a Ball Diva, but then they have the Tracer Sombra with your Briggs and backline. So. Bit of an interesting choice here for Death Computer. I don't hate it. I think it could definitely work, but the attack, they're going to swap off to what probably currently looks like might be a Brawl, because I imagine you just look for a Holt Hookland swap.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to be looking for here, but it's kind of like I talked about on Rialto. This is something that Death Computer and a couple of teams have been using relatively recently. Is this Wrecking Ball Diva, and then instead of amping up your DPS with a lot of damage, they essentially allow the tanks to make the damage with Salty on that Sombra to kind of create that extra space by getting the hacks off and using Rose for kind of the cleanup crew for whoever gets away. A lot of space, though, given up for the side of BearClaw Gaming as Bulby getting stunned out by the Holt, rotating around to behind the objective to try to get healed up. But BearClaw now holding the side room. They're looking to speed run their way into objective alpha with pretty much no worries in the world about what Death Computer is bringing to the table.
Yeah, Bulby is getting a lot of pressure as Torbjorn from Zero is doing so much work here. They're scared to engage because of it. And the D-Mech is going to come through. The turret does get removed, but I'd much rather have the mech online. Good halt is going to allow them to take down 2 as well. This is looking like a first point cap.
Yeah, there's not much more that I think Bulby can do, or the rest of Death Computer that can do at this point, except for to swap some things up. There's just too much crowd control, whether it's the stun that's coming in from Zeus or from Infected with the Holt or Zera's turret, which, as we know, has line of sight on everything. As long as you're in line of sight, it will be shooting you. And now they've already got control of the ship. with an early pick on a moving fish. That might clear the way for them to get through the hangar with ease.
Yeah, so BearClaw taking a lot of space here. They're gonna hop on top of the hangar to try to stop this attack, but a lot of ults being built up for the defense, but the attack is just as many, so.
That is absolutely true. I've only seen a single death on the side of BearClaw Gaming as of right now, but it looks like Neptune will go ahead and join that death. The kill is now coming in for the side of Death Computer, able to reclaim the ship and lock down the hangar.
Yeah, they are. This could be a dreadful point to push through because of how easy it is to hold these doorways. You can just kind of lock it down pretty easily. Let's see what Death Computer are able to do, but 6 ults for the attack might be doable.
Ooh, the minefield comes in. EMP pulse bomb combo coming in from Salty and Rose. Maybe a little bit of an overinvestment, but it shut down the push right then and there.
Yeah, that was a big play there. The EMP made it so there was no chance for the pulse bomb to get eaten. The immortality field was not able to get deployed. Sound barrier couldn't be used either. That was such a beautifully executed fight from them, but still a lot of ults for the attack.
That's true. It looks like they're going to go for the low ground rotation. Infected opting to put out the supercharger. We do see the self-destruct finding turret, immortality, and Zera. So going to get a lot of damage and a lot of sustain off of the field. The Deadeye, though, does get the trade. Keeps the fight going in the 5v5, but with Yamitra out of the fight, maybe a little difficult for them to hold on. It's going to be up to Neptune to keep them alive.
Canceled.
Yep, got out at the last moment as they jumped into the air. Not going to be helpful for them. Molten Core now coming out from Zera as they gain control of the objective ship, going for the quick remech with the self-destruct. Salty getting taken out somewhere. I'm not even for certain. I think they were running away and just accidentally stepped into a lava puddle. But this may be objective alpha the way things are going.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to try to see a recontester for Bulby, but it just causes him to fall. Cart's not being progressed out. They do need to still attempt to take that space, but Transcendence committed from Hanabi.
We will go ahead and see the Deadeye now coming out from Zeus to continue to create that space. Bulby back in the fight, 6-man EMP, but the cleanup has to be there. Everybody ended up getting ungrouped after the EMP, and there was very little follow-up and not able to hold the objective. They C9 it away. Now 1-for-1 between BearClaw and Death Computer. They will continue cleaning up the objective, but the spawn is right there as the hangar doors open.
Yeah, the fact that they weren't able to stop Second Point from being captured means even though they won that fight pretty far up, they can't hold there. They have to give up all of that space to BearClaw Gaming. Not really too many ults. You're only going to have the rally from reverse, and then on the other side, BearClaw only really have this Diva Bomb. The multi-core they are 75 to. That is why you see Zera stay on this Torbjorn, even though there is a comp swap for BearClaw.
Well, I think it's also just good for zoning. I mean, it's definitely between the turret, which we saw got a lot of value there onto Bulby as they got stunned out going in for the slam. The Molten Core just provides a lot of value by zoning out the objective from this pseudo dive composition that keeps coming in.
Yeah, as you're gonna see them try to take a fight here on this kind of right side, and they may be able to take down Bulby, and they do.
Yeah, Bulby just continuing to get punished here, but thankfully there's still running time off of the clock. That's what's important here. Minefield committed. Interesting. Not for certain if that was the move they wanted to make because the payload wasn't really close for them to be able to utilize that space and kind of move through with relative ease. We will go ahead and see Death Computer clear out that minefield as it wears away. Many ultimates coming online in this next fight.
Yeah, quite a lot. Diva Bomb though committed into this back, and then the wrecking ball of Bulby hoops them all into it.
Beautiful pick right there. Positioning just absolutely fantastic. Transcendence invested from Hanbei. Not for certain if that was the right move. Maybe they thought that there was something a little bit bigger coming in that they weren't prepared for, or maybe they're gonna swap things up. But nevertheless, we will see a swap coming in for Moving Fish, gonna bring us the Rock and Roll with the Sigma, as we see Infected swapping back over to the Orisa.
Yeah, and Ymir goes back over to the not the Torb, the Baptiste as well. But like you said, Moving Fish swapping heroes. A lot of ults committed from the attack.
That's true. Deadeye from Zeus doesn't find the value it's looking for, gets hacked out, but will continue to get picks. Minefield on the objective, but just gets melted down. The Molten Core taking down a vast majority of that minefield, and Moving Fish not even able to get out of spawn. Stunned, flailed, slapped into oblivion, and there's just nothing that Death Computer can do in one fell swoop. The rug is pulled right out from under them, and with 22 seconds on the clock, BearClaw Gaming lock in objective Charlie.
Great stuff there from BearClaw. Not a large time bank, but they still kind of rolled. They second point was their biggest. Second and third point they had a bit of struggles. Second point it wasn't too bad, but third point they definitely struggled a bit. They seemed kind of stuck in between two compositions for a lot of it, in between this kind of ball dive comp that they wanted to play. But then also they seemed to be leaning towards playing a more brawly comp with this Orisa. Like that Orisa brawl comp they were playing, and they just couldn't seem to settle on one comp, but as soon as they did, they managed to make it work. But on the defense, they are going to run that Orisa brawl comp with the Torb and the Cassidy. The attack, though, currently I have no idea, but this ball comp I would not be opposed to.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll is definitely a traditional standard, especially when you're trying to counter any type of dive composition. It not only allows you to chase down heroes, but it allows you to stun them out pretty well. We're probably going to see similar to what we saw in King's Row. Ro's going to go for an initial pick and then swap on to something else. But the question is, will they stick with the Rock and Roll, or do they have other tunes planned for us for this attack?
Looks like they will stay on it. They're going to use the Symmetra TP to send the backline over to the other high ground, or actually only the Zenyatta, because the other support is the Mercy that will be pocketing Salty. And like you said, this Rock and Roll comp, I'm a fan of it, and I think this could definitely work well against this comp that you see BearClaw opting for. It can, it's more of a pokey comp rather than a full-on dive, so I'm a fan of it.
Well, the setup is really going to come down to Bolby, who we've been seeing being punished a lot by the side of BearClaw Gaming. You know, they're going to have to bowl in, kind of get the setup going. And as you can see, the setup didn't come in fast enough. We see the picks coming in, Ship getting aggressive, finds the double kill on the Echo. Mercy finds Rose in the backline, in their backline as well. And that's going to be a minute off the clock as Moving Fish and Bolby have to let go of this high ground to regroup with the rest of the team.
Yeah, great stuff there from BearClaw. They wrap around into this control room, then use the speed boost to blitz onto Blue Box to remove the backline of Death Computer. Bit of a comp swap now for them as they will switch over onto a Soldier, no more Tracer. And then they will also be having a Ana instead of the Zenyatta. Yeah, it gives them a bit more self-peel.
That is true. Let's see if they can continue to make their way in here. Massive anti-nade comes in from Hanbei, swapping over to the Omens. And is going to be sending that out very quickly. Self-destruct ends up getting caught on the high ground, but it doesn't matter. We do see that Gravitic Flux getting the cleanup that it was looking for, and the anti-nades from Hanbei is just intense right now. Just shy. Gosh dang it, Death Computer shaved a couple extra seconds off that clock by leaving the payload be. They will grab Objective Alpha. All of the team moving violently forward to try to claim the ship in the hangar.
Yeah, you'll see Death Computer move into this hangar like you mentioned. A lot of ults for Death Computer. Zira had the Torbjorn, but opts to swap to the Tracer anyways. Interesting choice there, but I digress. Still a lot of ults for them. The attack's not so lucky, only really having this Nano Boost and the Visor at the current moment.
But with the way that this team is looking, that actually might not be a bad thing. It's all about where it happens. Bulby on top of the ship, getting a little bit of value out of that tack visor, and the power boost from reverse does help things out a little bit. Moving Fish, though, gets caught out of position by Zira as we see the supercharger invested to be able to keep this objective from moving any further. Bulby gonna get stunned out just a little bit, hanging on with just a hair of health right now, and Tinnitus will be the key to sending them back to spawn.
Yeah, they will get sent back there. Rose, kind of a bit of a waste of a visor, kind of pops it when only ship was around. So not able to get any value out of that ultimate. They will have some more to work with, as Rose is actually going to swap off the Soldier, go onto the Widow. The only shot he's taken on Widow so far this game resulted in a kill. Let's see what he could do here. But a lot of ults for the defense still.
That definitely could work out well in their favor for sure, as we see the ship being abandoned in lieu of being able to hold the payload. Yamitra does find Hanbei not going to get the value out of that Zenyatta that they were hoping for. Reverse not able to get the res off either. Gets separated out just a little bit too much. Ship and Zira able to get some follow-up picks onto the DPS, and that's going to be another stall here on Objective Bravo.
Yeah, great window there from Yamitra. Only ult they needed to use, and it just created so much damage that Death Computer were never able to work back into the point. Infected going in deep, gets pulse bomb eaten.
That is definitely a good eat there from Zira onto Zira's pulse bomb. Not going to get any value out of that, but the minefield creates the space they need to be able to push in. Zeus trying to trade with the Deadeye. The shield goes down just in time. Self-destruct into the back line. Not able to find anyone. Everybody gets out of the way just in the nick of time. And there is Bulby heading back into the action, just trying to boop everybody into the corner. And there it is, the beat. Hopefully announcing the victory here. Bulby falls, but the Transcendence might be enough to keep everyone together. Actually, no. Salty and Rose, not near the objective, end up getting picked off. Not going to be able to have that Transcendence to kind of help them out, but the self-destruct might be able to keep them in the fight. Just the tanks and Hanbei nearby. But it looks like they're going to get cleaned up rather quickly as well. A minute remaining on the clock, finding themselves in the same position that we saw BearClaw Gaming in just moments prior.
Yeah, great stuff here from BearClaw, managing to hold on. A lot of ults for them as well. They're going to have both tank and DPS ults. The other side, you're going to have the duplicate from Salty, who's gotten a lot of value out of his duplicates so far this series, but that's about it. You're not looking too great currently if you are Death Computer.
That is absolutely true. A lot of ultimates online for the defense as well, so going to be a little difficult to push into, but Salty picking the Diva, looking to get that self-destruct online as best as they can. Immortality and Amp Matrix utilize to try to be able to get those initial picks, but Salty has to send in the bomb last moment. Self-destruct finds Neptune, and the trade comes in onto Bulby. Deadeye comes out, finds Salty on the objective. Rose is the only one left on point to try to hold it together, and just gets a face full of pistol from Zira as overtime ticks away. 0.8 meters shy of continuing this map, in hopes to be able to keep it in their favor. BearClaw Gaming will indeed grasp at the picnic basket of victory and have a nice little snack as we head into what now could be the final map of our series.
Yeah, BearClaw Gaming managing to put themselves on match point. This was the EMP pulse bomb earlier from Death Computer. Just really well executed there. Made it work. Minefield used there in that fight probably wasn't needed, but that's in the past now, as BearClaw are, like I said, one map away. I feel like this kind of Orisa comp that we saw BearClaw run a lot, it was really effective. Like, Death Computer just tried to run some very dive-oriented comps and just weren't able to find a way into the defense, especially when Zero was on that Torbjorn. Death computers weren't able to get into these fights, so definitely looking to see if we're going to continue a similar trend as the map goes, or as the series goes on, or if maybe Death Computer have an answer.
Well, one of the things that I've kind of been noticing that, is kind of hit or miss is how Bulby is setting up on this wrecking ball, right? Typically, when you have a wrecking ball in a composition, you want wrecking ball to set up and then move. You want them to be constantly moving, constantly getting into the face of the enemy. And we're not seeing a lot of that from Death Computer. Like, Bulby will set up, and then it's kind of patient and waiting for kind of the opportune moment instead of pushing in and trying to get value out of multiple passes. It's like they're hoping that the one slam that they make in like 30 seconds is going to be enough to be able to kind of turn the tide, if that makes sense, instead of just making multiple passes and just constantly going through the team. And I think that that's what's helping BearClaw succeed in that bunker-ish type of composition with the Arista and the Batiste, because they have time to recover. The team's not in either not in the best position to be able to follow up on it, or we don't see Rose or Salty doling in damage as Bulby's kind of rolling through. It's just everyone's kind of for themselves instead of kind of this choreographed dance that should be working out in their favor, and that's helping BearClaw kind of continue to sustain on the objective. It looks like BearClaw has chosen Blizzard World to be banned. Back to hybrid. But remember, we haven't played any Assault or Control yet. The only banned maps we've seen for there is Temple of Anubis and Lijiang. So there's a lot of potential on the in the map pool, and it looks like, Joe, our next map has been decided.
Yeah, so it has been gonna be going to Volskaya Industries.
Huh.
Yeah, so Death Computer choosing Volskaya. Definitely an interesting map. Going to 2CP, a lot of teams don't like 2CP.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of players don't like 2CP. So I find it interesting that this is where Death Computer are opting to take us. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they have to pull out here.
I agree. It's chaotic at very least. It's not what I would expect based on the choices that we've seen from them thus far. But maybe they know something that we don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of teams hate 2CP. Teams might not be practicing on it as much, knowing even though Overwatch 2 is far in the future, a lot of tournaments have kind of been trying to remove 2CP kind of in preparation for the new push game mode. So I'm I don't know. It's wild that they would decide to go to Volskaya, but maybe their hope is that they can catch BearClaw kind of at a disadvantage. I mean, I believe we saw them play on Volskaya during their last match where they were victorious, but they did have a little bit of difficulty. So maybe this is the edge they need. But of course, we also didn't have Neptune and Ymitra on BearClaw last time around either. So having more excuse me, team synergy, especially with Ship, is also something that they'll have to look at going into this map.
Yeah, last time BearClaw played, they played Hanamura. They won that one 4-3. I'm trying to see if they've played at all during this this event, and it doesn't look like they've played Volskaya at all.
Interesting.
during this
So maybe,
All-Star Brawl. So
maybe that's how they're trying to catch him then. See, well, I do so many casting opportunities. I lose track of who plays what. I just kind of roll the dice and hope I get it right sometimes. Speaking of getting it right,
this roster did play it in the last All-Star Brawl. In the grand finals, they drew.
Oh, interesting.
It was a draw the last time they've played this map.
All right, so this might be the weak link that they're looking to utilize.
Yeah, they played this a lot in the last All-Star Brawl, and they were not too good on it. They lost quite a lot on this map. They won quite a lot as well because they were a good team, but they also lost quite a lot. So.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, we do want to remind you that we do have that MVP vote still going on. Let me take a quick look and see what I can see from my side of the screen and see how you've changed that. Moving Fish and Ship still tied, now at 27% of the total votes. The next closest is Reverse and Infected, tied for 13% of the votes. So again, if you want to get those votes in, whoever ends up coming out on top will be selected to come in for an interview at the end of today's match. And of course, we want to remind you to support our amazing community and make things easier on yourself to be able to watch the action that's going on. Hit that heart, punch that bell, hit that subscribe button if you can, so that you can support all the amazing things that Star Esports does for the Tier 3 community. As we head into Volskaya Industries, we'll be able to see what is cooking for the side of Death Computer as they go onto the defense first.
Yeah, so Death Computer started the defense. I believe it was... BearClaw chose to start in the attack there. That's the second time they've done that today. Pretty interesting. A lot of teams like to start on the defense, especially when they're winning, because that means they can like get the series over faster. But not BearClaw. So defense though, it's gonna be a Ball Sigma comp. It's either rock and roll, like you like to call it, Hog's Feet. It's also another name for it. No, that's the not Hog's Feet.
Oh, I was about to say, wouldn't that be
not Hog's Feet?
Roadhog Sigma? I like to call that one Piggy Feet.
Yes, Piggy Feet. I like that. I'm gonna call it that from now on.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, it's just an attack comp though. It's gonna be once again this kind of Orisa comp that we've seen run quite a bit.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Zira is coming in on the Tracer this time around. Not to say that their Tracer's bad.
They played a bit of Tracer on the last map, I believe.
Yeah, they've been cleaning it up rather well. I just find the swap interesting because usually we see them starting off on we've been seeing them start off on some different heroes, at least just for initial. Yeah, for those initials, but maybe we'll see that on the defense. You never know. We'll be coming in for the big slam. Grabs 3. Not going to be able to get the full value that they're looking for, though, due to shielding and support from Yamitra and Neptune. We will go ahead and see the rotation, though, as we see BearClaw Gaming taking control of the Mega Health back room. Zira does find Reverse in the sky. Trade comes in. Sticky Mines find Infected. So one support, one tank down for either side. So we will be seeing Infected get in a little bit faster than Reverse here in the near future. Neptune gonna get a face full of stickies as well, as Reverse having a hard time Rose rather, having a hard time trying to stay alive here. Infected with the big slam. Goes ahead and takes them right out of the fight. And the Transcendence already out for Hanbei to try to get the full value of retaking this Mega Health back room, but the Transcendence wears off before they can fully push in. And that's going to allow the space that BearClaw need, pull their claws out, take a couple eliminations. And that's going to be Objective Alpha with 2 minutes on the clock, brings them up to 5 minutes. Go ahead and capture Objective Bravo.
Yeah, so BearClaw Gaming getting this capture like you mentioned. And a lot of ults for their this attacking side, and they're going to try to go aggressive here. already taking up this space, not even happy to fight over this opening choke.
That's the bad thing about the respawns. You get to get back quick, but only enough to be able to touch the objective. Not much else. Deadeye coming out from the Cassidy. Zeus looking to strike with the lightning. Not going to be able to find a target to be able to lay on. Chip does get DMAC though. As Zera gets taken out by Salty, and that's going to be just enough to push BearClaw back into their cage for now.
Yeah, BearClaw getting pushed back for a moment, like you said, but Zeus does get a trade there on the Salty, and you're going to start to see them fight back into this here, using the Immortality Field, and now the Diva Bomb from Chip as well. A lot of ults from the attack.
Ooh, yes, a very interesting use of the Gravitic Flux. Had to go into the side room, so couldn't get the follow-up damage to really finish anyone off. With Hanbei and Rose already going down at the beginning of the fight, even with the pick onto Zeus, it's going to make it very difficult for them to sustain. First tick on the objective for BearClaw. Second tick coming in. Salty trying to touch. Seems to be a little bit of a miscommunication between them and Bulby as they're trying to stagger on the objective. We do see that Harmony Orb coming in. Transcendence coming in from Hanbei to try to keep everything together, but it doesn't look like it is working out for them. It is Ship versus Hanbei on the side. Salty coming in with a hello and goodbye as they go ahead and drive by, taking down Ship and Zera in the dash. That's going to go ahead and push back BearClaw once again, but not without taking a good 69 nice 0.3% on the point.
Yeah, BearClaw got 2 CP'd there, as I like to say. This was looking great for them. They won the fight. They got 2 ticks, like you said, and then the stall was just too much, and the close respawns for Death Computer allowed them to re-engage the point fairly quickly here. And now all the tools were used up by both sides to win that fight, so kind of a dry fight, other than this rally.
Well, the rally might be enough to be able to keep things in tow. We do see Rose swapping over to the Soldier. Find that kind of interesting, but is matching Zeus on the Soldier as well. Ship going for the hard reset to get back with the rest of the team. Not certain what Yamitra's doing. I
don't know why I didn't just die.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get over the side, but unsuccessfully ended up that way. Seeing another big swap though from BearClaw Gaming as they head in for another attack.
Yeah, BearClaw switching on to this Orisa now. In fact, it's been playing a lot of it today. Looked pretty good on it. They're going to have some ults to work with, Diva Bomb and both support ults. And Salty's Pulse Bomb just got completely obliterated there by Ship. Nice eat from him.
Yeah, Ship has indeed not eaten dinner tonight, has been hungry for the ultimates that we've seen eaten up tonight. And the Minefield Transcendence investment there is just going to go ahead and clean up the objective one more time. Minute 30 remaining on the clock. Able to get up to 80%, but 80% is not 100. Gonna have to take it back and do it again.
Yeah, gonna have to reset here for their side. And Death Computer have put up a good defense here on second point. I believe there was about 5 minutes for BearClaw to work with, and it's been brought all the way down to 1.
And that's the bad thing about 2CP, right? You got that long haul back from spawn, so every fight, you gotta be willing to give it pretty much all you got. Attack Visor coming in from Rose, looking for some value, but the picks are coming in for BearClaw Gaming. They lock themselves in, hibernate on Objective Bravo. With 49 seconds remaining on the clock, they'll head to the defense to see if they can keep Death Computer at bay from taking down their forest home.
BearClaw are looking to close this out. The attack, while it wasn't bad, it definitely could have been better. They had so many opportunities there, especially that one fight where they got up to the 69%. They could have closed it out there and had a really good time bank, but they just weren't able to do so. And now they weren't able to cap with over a minute, which means if Death Computer do manage to cap up 2 points, no matter their time bank, they'll get another chance to attack. So not bad from BearClaw, but definitely could have been better. They're going to look for a shutdown defense, though. Full hold is what they're looking for. Most likely not going to get it, but they're going to try to get a good hold to win this out.
And the great thing about it is that Death Computer have um, no loss for time here, right? You're not battling to try to get the most time after the reduction to 2 minutes. With BearClaw already under a minute, any time that they end this map with, they get to move instead of rounds. So ideally, you want to move fast, you want to get many picks as you possibly can as quickly as you can, so you have a nice fat time bank going into rounds 3 and 4, because you're gonna need it.
Yeah, Death Computer are definitely looking to get a good time bank here. A couple of minutes would be great. Very traditional dive comp here. With the Genji Tracer. Bit of a throwback.
Say, is that a Genji? Please, Genji. Don't see a lot of Genji nowadays, but we do see the rotation from BearClaw, giving up the high ground to move back into Circle Room. Mega health pack, keep it under wraps. Do see a quick rotation, Salty, and Moving Fish there in the side area, going to be able to escape for now. Be distracted by Rose to be able to pull them out of there. But nevertheless, not a tick to be had on the objective, and there's already a minute off the clock. We need to see some moves.
Yeah, now Death Computer are trying to engage with this nano boost here, and they managed to take down Zeus. Great start.
That's the way to get it started. The nano comes in, grabbing a whole bunch of value. Zera still looking to clap the cheeks of Reavers with those pulse bombs. We'll get them, but the damage is already over, even with some tinnitus for Grandma. Actually, looks like this objective might get flipped. Bulby investing the Primal Rage. Maybe a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
But you know, Hanbei's working up to that nano once again. That's going to be another 5 minutes on the clock as they head to Objective Bravo.
Yeah, I would give them a good shot at getting a capture, but with the defense that they managed to put up earlier, I wouldn't put it past BearClaw to do the same. A lot of big ults, though, for this attacking side. They could be completely neutralized, however, if there is a good sound barrier committed. That could kind of make this Genji Blade, which they've been building up towards, kind of useless, honestly. No nano boost to go with it either.
Well, if they're smart, they'll use Rose's Pulse Bomb as a decoy. Be able to get it in there, put it on the Supercharger, get some damage in, force the beat, and then clean it up with the Dragon Blade. We're not going to see that as Bulby gets sent quickly back to spawn by the bunny icon. And we will see the rest of the team go ahead and get sent back. Just a single, well, actually 2 ultimates, because the Supercharger was utilized as well. But it's going to be enough to send them back to spawn. Shave another minute off that clock.
Yeah, really nice ult there from Infected. The Diva buff from Chip slightly missed the mark, but Infected just brought Bulby directly into the LOS of that Diva bomb to manage to kill him out. And now you're looking at a depleting time bank for Death Computer. They have so many ults, though. Almost every single ult they could possibly have. Only one they're missing is that Primal Rage. This Nano Blade could be nasty.
Alright, well...
Or not. Never mind.
Salty! Oh, that was beautiful. It's like angry Japanese just back to the team. Not even worried about trying to get an investment on that. That was Zoo. Not a fan of having them force out that barrier. We'll get the double kill there. Not with the Deadeye, but the cleanup comes in nevertheless. I gotta say, that's probably in the tier 4 scene of Tranquility, we call that a Senza Blade. You pull it out just to be scary, and then you run away.
Yeah, and the thing is, I haven't said that the sound barrier might just be able to completely nullify its effects, but I'm like, they have the nano boost now. Maybe they could do something with it. And then he pumps the blade, never gets nano boost, and he just runs away. But yeah, it's probably better. Probably would have died if he tried to commit onto there. And now they have the nano boost for this monkey.
That's true, and it looks like they might be able to get the follow-up damage there. Lots of good rotations coming in here from BearClaw, but it might not be enough as we see Bulby trying to fight out the power of the Supercharger. You meet your falls to Salty as we see a sleeping ship. Just need a little nap, you know, Grandma knows best. We see the staggers coming in, but the cleanup is fast and fierce. And the Primal Rage from Molby will go ahead and lock down this objective. 2 minutes, 28 seconds now on the clock as we see BearClaw Gaming get brought back to a minute. Go ahead and start popping it off in the chat. Do you want to see map 5? Do we want to take this to the edge and see which team will get that third map? Or do you want BearClaw to end it right here? Let us know.
Yeah, so BearClaw Gaming are getting they may get pushed to a map 5. There we go. That was, for some reason, that was really hard to say.
It's all right.
But yeah, it's definitely doable though. A minute 28, while that is definitely a decent difference in time, it's not undoable here. If they can get a good attack, if they can cap up both points, they probably win this, honestly. Because I think I don't think Death Computer, with how they played on their initial attack, are going to be able to pull this off. But I also don't expect BearClaw to do that. I think the best they could do is probably a first point capture, and then most likely will get held at second. But yeah, a first point capture is a minimum here for BearClaw. If they're not able to pull that off, then this map is probably going to go to Death Computer.
Yeah, it's going to be all about the time of rotations. Remember, both teams ended up taking over 2 minutes to be able to grab the first objective, so they're going to have to move fast. They want to make it work with the minute they got.
Yeah, so BearClaw, they're going to try to wrap around onto this left side high ground. Somebody was on that high ground, but they have left. I believe it was might have just been the Genji or the Tracer. Somebody who can easily get away, so they're not in too much trouble. But yeah, this high ground's been taken over by BearClaw, and if Death Computer aren't careful, this could cause some problems.
That's true. The sleeping ship still capturing the objective. 20 seconds remaining on the clock as the turret goes down once again for Zira. They have to invest. They got to get that objective now. That first tick is just a minuscule away, but the picks have to be there. They've got to get those eliminations, and there they come. Bolby, reverse, Salty. The feed is lighting up with the claws out for BearClaw. That's first tick, second tick. Just a little bit of stagger there from Rose, but the overtime wick will burn down. 30 seconds gets added to the clock as we see BearClaw Gaming head to Objective Bravo.
Yeah, they can't take a quick fight, though. As you can see, Chip had to jump off the side to get their mech back. Not a ton of ults for the defense, though. They're going to have this nano boost. You're going to probably see that go into Bolby. But that's all they have currently, and the attack definitely have some stuff to work with here. High Noon, Diva Bomb, Window. They have the tools to do it, just can they commit? Can they utilize them?
Yep, they got to create the space to make it work. Bolby getting the investment of the nano. High Noon, Salty sends it right back into their face, but then gets taken out as they unleash the blade. Pulse Bomb finds Ship, is able to damage, but the finish isn't there. Looking for that first tick, but it may not happen. Beat invested. Zira has the Molten Core online, ready to unleash once they get back in the fight. Zeus swapping over to the Soldier 76, but I don't think that it's going to be enough. I don't think they're going to be able to get back to this point in time. You can even see Zira trying to shoot the Molten Core to the objective to try to help out their teammates, but it is just not, the stream isn't strong enough to be able to get there. First objective capture, though, at least draws a line in the sand, makes this a drawable map for the side of Death Computer.
Completely shut out there is BearClaw Gaming. Only I predicted it. They're gonna capture 1 point and then get stopped at second. I feel like I have now some I can say I am a Overwatch analyst. I can properly predict things now. Death Computer, though, they're gonna need to manage to capture up 1 tick here on the second point. This is definitely a different comp from the defense. We haven't really seen them try to run something like this. We've seen them run the Orisa version, which is a bit more pokey. It's it's kind of like a brawl comp with an Orisa, and this is sort of like a poke comp with the Reinhardt. You definitely will see a brawl. This comp try to brawl a lot, but yeah, I like the Tor pick though. I think it's going to do a good job at shutting down Salty. Salty didn't do much there in the previous round, and had a lot to do with this Torbjorn Azira.
That's true. We will have to see how well that is utilized on the defense, though, as we do see Bulby and Moving Fish coming out on that Wrecking Ball Diva once again. Actually, it looks like we're going to see Bulby swap on over to the Winston instead. Going to get the value they're looking for, but wow! BearClaw wastes no time. No time at all. They're like, oh, wait, you guys are just waiting for your Winston to get back? Oh, well, we'll take advantage of that.
Well, the support line, though.
Yeah.
Like, BearClaw just hid in this left room and waited till the push came and then kind of exploited that to get the win, like you mentioned, Bulby being not in the fight at the moment, but the support line being down means that they're going to be missing some very crucial heroes for a bit here, and you're going to see Death Computer probably gain a tick off of this. Maybe more.
That's true. First tick on the objective. We might see the speed boost coming in from Neptune here to try to prevent second tick, but they got to be able to stay on that objective long enough. They're just shy, just a little bit, that 0.6% to get the second one, but with Rose already down and the turret doling damage on the objective, they just cannot continue to sustain on the point. Neptune goes down once again. Not going to have that speed boost to be able to continue to invest. The Amp Matrix coming out, trying to provide a little bit of additional damage for that turret. Hanbei does go down in the fight as well, but Reverse is still there, kind of holding the line. They're trying to keep them in this grouped up area, but that is where they will flourish. 45 seconds remaining on the clock and only a tick to be had by the side of Death Computer.
Yeah, Death Computer's not able to capitalize on BearClaw Gaming missing their support line. BearClaw got a really good recontest there to win that fight. And now Death Computer are on their last legs here. They need to win this fight. Otherwise, BearClaw will be on their way to the losers finals.
That is true. The rally providing a little bit of additional support. Hanbei over 50% to that next nano.
Oh, the shatter.
Shatter comes out. Nope, it didn't get the value it was looking for. Got nothing but Winston bubble. Tac Visor doling out a lot of damage, but somebody's got to get on that point. Bulby has to use the jetpack jump just to be able to get it back into the objective. Somebody's got to touch. Rose touching the objective to try to keep it going, but Zeus with the Deadeye able to take down Bulby and Salty. And it seems that no matter what they do, self-destruct out from Moving Fish might be able to grab something, but with them down, that is going to be it. The computers lose to nature as BearClaw Gaming will be looking to reclaim their title in the All-Star Brawl as they move on to the losers finals.
Yeah, like you said, Andy's Daycare last All-Star Brawl, an unsigned team. This year they managed to get picked up by an Oregon. They are doing great work here. Bit of a scare. They ended up losing, or not. They ended up being knocked out of the losers bracket because of a forfeit loss, and they have rebounded greatly. And now they are in a position where they could definitely repeat.
That is true. We are going to be getting our MVP of the match in here shortly. So be sure to be getting in your final votes before we bring them in right now. Ship is in the lead, so that's probably who we're going to be seeing being pulled in here. It looks like Ship actually took quite a lead compared to others that we would see here today. So get to see a little bit behind what is how Ship is enjoying their time on BearClaw Gaming, and kind of this hiatus from contenders going on right now. But Death Computer put up a heck of a fight. There really wasn't much more that they could have done. Maybe a little earlier composition swaps, a little bit more communication on plays. But I mean, that's just Overwatch for you. So you gotta kind of wonder at the end of what could be done. But hindsight is always 2020. I'm sure they'll be VOD reviewing and figuring in that out here in the future. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. We will be having another match here in, I believe, about 20 minutes. We'll be seeing the winners finals where Gaia, the runner-ups for last season, will be facing off against GeForce, which if you are not a 80s or 90s kid like myself, you probably don't know the reference, but it's based off of a movie where they were like technological spy hamsters. So I'm sure that you can imagine what heroes will be played on GeForce's team. They've shown to be a relatively dominant team as of recent, but maybe Gaia has it in him for the rematch. Be able to take them down and meet either BearClaw or them once again in the winners finals. So looks like we are getting Ship in here. Ship has indeed been selected for the interview for today. So as soon as we get them in here, we'll go ahead and start talking about today's match. If you love what you have seen here, folks, be sure to be hitting that heart, punching that bell, subscribe if you can. 20% off of your subscription. That is not bad. You see those beautiful savings really rack up from the multiple months. I know for all the orgs that I'm subscribed to, that 6 months does take a good chunk of change off of what you're spending into it. So be sure to be able to utilize that when you can. And here they are, the amazing Ship Off Tank filling in for BearClaw Gaming. Ship, welcome to the interview. You were voted today's MVP. How you feeling? I know that you're kind of filling in for the normal off tank for BearClaw Gaming, but you've successfully brought them to the losers finals.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. And as a ringer, kind of just coming in, not really knowing how they play. We kind of did a little drifters takeover this last
Yeah,
game.
I did.
Felt pretty good. We even ran one of our comps from Attackman, if you guys remember. Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I did see a little bit of that resemblance there, and I did see a little bit of the drifters takeover, getting Yamitra and Neptune kind of in the mix today. I gotta say, in the kind of hiatus right now that we're seeing with contenders, kind of not certain about what the future of Overwatch holds for 2022. Are these primarily tournaments waiting for that next big challenge around the bend?
Yeah, I'd say for us, I'm not too clear on the rules of competing in other tournaments, so we're kind of just not really doing it. It doesn't feel right either. It's like a
Okay.
2-3 tournament, so at least that's how I view it. They asked me to ring, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'm kind of fine with it as long as it's allowed. It's also probably the best practice I can get right now, since most contenders teams, like you said, we're kind of just not doing much since we don't really know what's going on. So
Well,
at least it's fun. It was great.
We are seeing quite a bit of a dismantling of some of those teams as well. I mean, I'm sure you've been paying attention with ISU Redbirds essentially getting completely reset by so many being picked up by Al, and I know other teams are kind of feeling the blow of that as well. Joe, do you have any questions for Ship about kind of BearClaw's gameplay today?
Yeah, I was just wondering, was it easy to fit in with BearClaw? Because obviously, like you said, you're a ringer, of course, playing with drifters, and you come in as the off tank, and tank is a pretty important role in Overwatch, of course. So, was it easy to fit in with the team?
I mean, yeah, I think their coach Jay Venom gave us a good rundown of what they did. Really shout out to him, and the whole team. I played with Infected before. He rang for drifters quite a bit. I've known Zero and Zeus for a little bit as well. We're all pretty cool. So it was pretty easy transition, and for me specifically, I like being very vocal, and it was pretty easy going with Infected as well. We're pretty good combo, at least pretty comfortable with each other.
Nice. All right. Any other questions, Joe?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, Ship. Well, I'm sure that we'll be seeing more of you, hopefully, in the days to come. Congratulations on your victory today. Do you have any shout outs or anything else that you'd like to say to the audience before we send you back to your team and we get on with these winners' finals here in a little bit?
I mean, shout out to everyone at BearClaw for letting us ring, and Star Esports, you guys are doing here is pretty great. It's pretty fun. And yeah, I mean, thank you guys for casting it as well. You guys did a great job, as
No
always.
problem. No problem. It is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, Ship. We'll go ahead and release you back to the Bears Den so that you can regroup with the team. And thank you all so much for watching. Of course, there is more content to be had today. Like I said, we'll be going into the winners finals here in about, let me check my time once again, in about
minutes.
17 minutes, 15 minutes, yeah. For where we'll be seeing G-Force versus Gaia. Remember, Gaia, the runner-ups of the last All-Star Brawl. Joe, anything else you want to shout out before we go ahead and wind it down and release the room for the other casters to get prepped?
Yeah, just make sure to follow Star Esports so you can get notified for when the losers finals and then the grand finals later in the season happen. But yeah, pleasure casting.
It was a pleasure having you. Once again, thanks for filling in Joe Razor at the last minute. Be sure to be following them on social media. You can find me as well at CAPT_Jack87 on Twitter for all the stuff that I got going on between Star Esports and several other tournaments that I'm part of. It's always great being behind the mic. We're going to go ahead and let you go for a few moments, but we hope you hang around for more amazing action here at Star Esports All-Star Brawl.